Hey y'all. Do y'all remember the story that was floating around when Kate Middleton married Prince William that she did her own makeup? Well, at the time, I was working at a restaurant called Johnny Carino's. I was a hostess with the mostess in Mesquite, Texas. And we were watching the wedding on a loop in the bar. And I remember some of the commentators who were covering it for news broadcasts were saying, "Did you know she did her own makeup because she wanted Prince William to recognize her? She didn't want anyone else to do her makeup." And they complimented this fact about her. They perpetuated it over the years repeatedly. And a couple of years ago, I talked about that and I remember saying I was surprised considering she's never really shown herself to have a penchant for doing anything creative, let alone makeup or hair. And so I was a little surprised that on her wedding day, she would take such a big risk. And so many people were like, "Sharion, I do not believe she did her own makeup." And I'm gonna be honest, I also felt that way. And that was kind of the point I was making, but I just didn't have any proof. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. That's the story. And that's what she's been saying to people. But I genuinely don't know if I believe that, especially seeing how things have turned out since. Well, turns out we were right. She did not do her own makeup. Surprise, surprise. What a silly lie to tell. Anyway, today I'm going to be reading an article in Feminagra, and then I'm going to be giving my opinion at the end. So let's get started. Thank you so much for clicking on my video, and if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll be discussing an article in Feminagra about Kate Middleton allegedly doing her own makeup for her wedding. We have discussed this a couple of times, and we have always had an air of doubt around it. Well, turns out it is an absolute myth. The truth came out, and Feminagra has the story. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. All right, once again, this is in Feminagra, and I don't know who the author is. It's just listed as Feminagra, so that's a surprise. I thought it was Miss Historian, so I wonder who it actually was. But it's titled Kate Middleton's Royal Wedding Makeup Myth Finally Debunked. Now, I will say that Feminagra not only brings the truth, but they are so good with these headlines. For 14 years, the world believed that Kate Middleton pulled off the ultimate royal girl next door flex, doing her own makeup for her wedding to Prince William. It was part of the carefully polished image sold to the public in 2011, with outlets from Vogue to CBS News breathlessly reporting that she had taken lessons and insisted on doing her own face for her big day. Turns out it was pure fiction. Makeup mogul Bobbi Brown has finally set the record straight on the Breaking Beauty podcast while promoting her new book. "I did not do her makeup. I wish I did," she admitted. "It was one of my artists, Hannah Martin, who's become quite a sensation in the UK. So no, Hannah did her makeup. She did. Incredible." In other words, not Kate. I love Feminagra Hall. The myth didn't just linger, it was baked into her public image. The do-it-yourself wedding makeup story framed Kate as relatable, capable, and refreshingly normal for a future queen. And the palace let that flattering lie stand unchallenged for over a decade. Compare that to 2019, when speculation about Botox prompted Kensington Palace to rush out a categorical denial. So much for never complain, never explain. When it benefits Kate, they explain plenty, sure do. And here's the kicker. While Kate reportedly sent a polite office letter of thanks, Bobbi Brown revealed she still keeps the note because it wasn't even handwritten. Y'all, I love Bobbi Brown. Do you hear me? No personal acknowledgement for the woman who actually created her iconic wedding look. Credit where credit is due, not in this family. The revelation is awkward, especially when paired with other whispers about unpaid bills, such as those from Fiona Cairns, the baker behind the royal wedding cake, who has publicly noted late payments. How are you behind and you royal? Now, it's one thing to be broke and normal, but to be broke and royal, now that's a shame. Anyway. Taken together, it paints a picture of entitlement. Bask in the glow, hoard the credit, leave the help in the shadows. Yep. So yes, the Kate did her own makeup myth has finally crumbled. The products were Bobbi Brown. The artistry belonged to Hannah Martin. The palace, meanwhile, was happy to let a fairy tale flourish. One more carefully spun image now exposed for what it was. I could start by saying, are we really surprised? And the answer would always be no. Nothing that comes out about this family at this point surprises me. They are a bunch of crooks, thieves, and liars. And every day it's something new with this bunch. Do they not get tired? And honestly, The royal wedding in 2011 was a huge event, as is every royal wedding. They didn't even need to lie to make Kate seem likable. People wanted to like her because people were excited. People love royal weddings and they love changes in the royal family. People also just love weddings in general. Everything was already working in their favor. Why did she have to lie? That makes no sense. And I love that Feminagra pointed out the fact that Kensington Palace debunked the Botox story, because not too long ago, someone made it a point to say, if Kensington Palace debunks it, that means it's probably true. And now that I'm seeing how things have gone since hearing that statement, I could not agree more. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And Kensington Palace, or just the royal family in general, excluding Harry, Meghan, and those babies, but all the other ones, when it comes to them, all they do is lie, even when it's not necessary. Like, why did people need to think she did her own makeup? Like, I get the idea that, oh, they wanted her to be relatable, but why is there this push for anyone royal to even be relatable? She's a commoner. She's as relatable as it gets. She's not royal. At least she wasn't before she married William. As a matter of fact, her and her sister are called social climbers. People made fun of them for trying to get on. It just so happens that she managed to do so, but she wasn't royal before marrying William. She was a commoner, a regular old girl. They called her Kate Middleton because she was allegedly sticking her butt in the window at people in college. Like, this is a normal girl. We don't need more reasons for her to be relatable. There are pictures of her getting in and out of cabs, fully smacked after having a long night out, just drunk as a skunk. They don't need her to be relatable. She is a regular ass person, as is everybody in the royal family. Sure, they're royal, but that doesn't change who they are. They're human. They just happen to be born into an interesting institution, one we all know about. That's it. Doesn't change who they are at their core. They still bleed when you cut them. They still cry when you say something mean to them. And this one seems to cry a whole lot, especially when anything pertains to her sister-in-law. She seems to find the tears quick, don't she? Either way, they didn't need to create a lie to make her relatable. They just lie for no reason. Now, that I can't stand. It's one thing to lie to help advance yourself in some way, which is still wrong, but to lie for the sake of lying, that should be the royal family's motto. Ignore, never complain, never explain, because we have learned that there's a whole lot of complaining and a whole lot of explaining coming from that family. Let's do away with that. They need to just have a whole new slogan: the royal family, lying for the sake of lying. And honestly, in saying that, that would probably be the first time they've told the truth. They lie for no reason. I don't put anything past people like that. I don't trust liars, first of all, but I cannot stand a person who would just sit up and lie in your face for no reason. It's never convincing. Like, who looked at her face and saw how she always looks? Like, we have so many paparazzi photos of Kate Middleton walking the streets, doing what she do. We've seen her 1,000,001 times. Before she got married. We know what she looks like, and we know what it looks like when she does her own makeup. Why did she think this was fooling anybody? Why did she think this was convincing? It's one thing to lie, that's already wrong, but to lie and take me for a fool, that pisses me off. Don't tell me a stupid lie, because now I feel like you're insulting my intelligence. If you're going to tell me a lie, at least put a little effort in it, a little elbow grease, dress it up a little bit, honey, put some effort in. At least let me be worth that. But no, not only did they lie, but they tried to take their royal subjects for fools. What I don't get is why so many people get behind that family knowing that they're intentionally manipulating them. How can you still support an organization or an institution that intentionally misleads you? And for no reason. It's not like anything they do really matters. Like, it's not going to change much in the lives of their subjects. Like, it is what it is. They're ornamental people and they're great for tourism. That's about it. Why are you lying? And if you are lying, why are you telling nonsensical lies that don't matter? Again, nothing that family does makes sense. And I love that Bobbi Brown put it out there. And I love that she also included the fact that the note was not handwritten. And that's so funny, considering, one, Meghan's Instagram bio used to be lover of handwritten notes.
My Instagram bio says that I am a lover of handwritten notes. Love the art of a handwritten note, and I think it's a really lost art form. The best handwritten note I ever received, I booked my very first pilot saying, "Meg, I knew this day would come. So proud of you." I still have it, but it's the idea of someone taking the time to put pen to paper that I think really matters.
She's having her bio, lover of handwritten notes. And I don't know, something about that is just so freaking funny to me. Anyway, there is no harm in saying that someone else provided a service for you, especially on a day like your wedding. But I think what's getting missed here, and Feminagra did a wonderful job of pointing it out, is It's not fair to the people who actually did the work. Think about how much publicity Hannah Martin could have gotten and Bobbi Brown could have gotten had she simply told the truth. It wouldn't have taken anything from her. It's not a zero-sum game to give credit where it's due. But to be fair, even if it was, if the credit is due, that means you need to get to giving credit. What I don't understand is why lie? Again, I get their narrative that, oh, it was to make her relatable. But she didn't need to be relatable. We have pictures of her falling out drunk from the back of cabs. She's as relatable as it gets. And she's kind of sleazy, if we're being honest, a little too relatable. But the problem that I have is that someone who could have had a huge career boost, not just Hannah Martin, although she did the work, she would have had a huge career boost, but also Bobbi Brown. They could have had huge moments, especially in 2011 when everyone was talking about the royal wedding. And Kate withheld that from them for a fake narrative that no one was going to believe anyway. Again, lie for the sake of lying. And something about Kate, like, let me just be real. Something about Kate really bothers me because something about her really gets triggered around weddings. Wonder why that is. Because she tried to make Meghan's wedding all about herself, even wore a dress that was so light yellow that in the sun it looked white and it photographed white. The only way we were able to see that it was yellow was when she was actually sitting in the pews and they had that dim lighting in there. But every other time she was photographed, especially standing on the steps where she knew she would be standing, it was photographing white. It looked damn near the same color as Princess Charlotte's, whose dress was white. She tried to take their wedding and make it all about them. I mean, she created all that huff before the wedding about the bridesmaids' dresses for a toddler. Honestly, had Meghan given those toddlers white potato sacks, no one would have cared because it's not about them. It's about the bride. I don't even remember what Princess Charlotte wore. But when she tried to say that 3-year-old child, she was 2 or 3, when she tried to say that toddler cried because her dress was ill-fitted. Okay, lying for the sake of lying. It just keeps getting worse. But also, this is why they have so much bad blood with people. This is why they don't have a lot of repeat vendors. This is why they have such high turnover with their staff. They do not operate with integrity. They do not operate with tact, and it shows. All she had to do was part of the statements, the many statements that were released around the wedding, was simply say, this is who will be providing the makeup services. You want to know who doesn't forget to credit people? Meghan. So quick to help people get publicity and use their platform to show people's work and show people's skill and show people off for what they do. They are so quick to share the spotlight and even divert the spotlight to people. They are so quick to give credit because they understand what a cosign from them and what the weight of that actually is and how that can go really far for people who are doing the work and providing the service. That is the type of person people don't mind coming back to and working with. That is the type of person people don't mind answering the phone at 2 a.m. and saying, hey, I'm hopping on a plane. That is why you have those interactions. That is why you have those outcomes, because they are operating with integrity. They are operating with a sense of decorum. And it's crazy that you would have to tell someone who's royal and sits around with a crown on their head how to behave with decorum. It's so weird how the royal family loves investing time in the ornamental things about being a royal family, but the foundational things like tact and class and goodwill and integrity are always the things that are missed. You are not wasting time by investing in creating those things. You're not wasting time by investing in those things and developing those traits, especially if you're going to be seen as world leaders. Again, while I am still not happy with how they treated Meghan and Harry, and I will always hold a grudge against them. May they be smited. I am, however, happy that Harry and Meghan are no longer affiliated with that circus. I am so relieved that for whatever reason, they had to leave, because now they can actually do things and operate and work with people who don't already had bad blood or preconceived notions about them because of who they're affiliated with, like these clowns. Anyway, y'all let me know your thoughts on this commentary, on this article, and on this whole situation as a whole. I'm interested in hearing what you have to say. Kate knows she wrong.
And when I tell you that my jaw dropped when you talked about the royal wedding in your book.
Right.
Because the royal wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton, April 2011. And we knew that she used Bobbi Brown products, your namesake brand at the time. Which
I did not do her makeup.
Right.
I wished I did. It was one of my artists.
Right.
Aunt Hannah Martin, who's become quite a sensation in the
yes.
UK.
We were led to believe that she had done her own makeup. So I feel like this was a reveal.
Hannah did her makeup. Kate was constantly coming into a Bobby counter buying some of her favorite things. I did get a note though that I guess I have hanging now in my office in Montclair from not from Kate, but from her person that wrote her letter saying how much she appreciated, you know, the makeup.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching the SharionSade YouTube channel. I appreciate you watching my content. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video by hitting the thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget to comment along the way. If you feel so inclined, please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Now let's get back to the video. So I have a little story that I want to tell about Bobbi Brown. So my first run-in with Bobbi Brown makeup was years ago in 2012. I'd never heard of it. The only Bobbi Brown I knew of was the R&B sensation, the king of R&B, the Bobbi Brown with a Y, not an I. And so at the time, and still, I had an account with Neiman Marcus, and all of my orders came from Neiman Marcus. So anyway, for some reason, they had gotten my order wrong, or they'd sent the cologne. I was buying cologne for my dad, and they sent it to someone else and not to me, or something like that. So when I called them to get them to send out something else, they also sent me a box of goodies as an apology. And it was so many goodies that I actually called them to confirm they intended to send that. So I got the box, and it was like a good sized box. I mean, it was big. It was kind of heavy too. And my mom brought it in the house, and she was like, "What is all this shit you done bought from Neiman Marcus?" And I was like, "Mama, I bought cologne for Daddy's birthday. That's it." So I opened up the box, and it is filled to the top with goodies. I mean, Giorgio Armani parfum bags and Jimmy Choo parfum bags and socks, the right size. They sent me some perfumes, some Marc Jacobs perfumes, and some Marc by Marc Jacobs earrings, and a Marc by Marc Jacobs watch with a blue face. My favorite to this day. Somebody stole it. They sent me all kinds of goodies. YSL makeup kit, and in the bottom was a makeup kit from Bobbi Brown with an I, and it was the first time I'd ever heard of them. As a matter of fact, when I first said Bobbi Brown, just in my mind, I immediately was like, he doing makeup now? Damn. Like, I was like, talk about diversifying. I never knew he was into it. And when I looked it up, I was like, oh, it's not even spelled the same. I tried the makeup, and it has been my favorite, some of my favorite makeup to this day. I still only wear YSL lipsticks because, goodness, they get it right every time. YSL lipstick. I love Bobbi Brown, everything else as well. And so I don't use it all the time, but for like special occasions, I do, because it is a little bit more expensive than what I typically wear, which is Maybelline. But it does have a different feel and a different finish, and it's just a little more expensive. So I don't wear it for my everyday. I wear it for like special occasions and things like that. But I do absolutely love Bobbi Brown makeup, and that is how I was exposed to her. Now, here's the craziest part. Neiman Marcus is a powerful entity, because when I tell you, I have never ordered makeup from Neiman Marcus up until that point. I do now. But at that point, I was not buying makeup from Neiman Marcus. I was getting my makeup from the Dollar General, Family Dollar, or Walmart. Same Maybelline, but just a little drier and a little older. Anyway, get it how you live. I wasn't getting my makeup from Neiman Marcus. So they had no reference point. How they knew to send the right shade, I do not know. I did not have a picture on my account. They had to have looked me up on social media. They had to. Or else I don't know how they would have known. But they sent me the right shades of everything, foundation and setting powder. Well, the setting powder was clear, but everything, the foundations and everything were tone matches, skin matches, and even the lipstick, the mauve was the right shade of mauve. They did their Googles, and they sent me the right shade of makeup and everything. And that is why I am loyal to Neiman Marcus to this day. I buy all my gifts from Neiman Marcus, but they sent me so much stuff in that box that I actually called them and was like, did y'all mean to send me this much? I mean, this is a lot of stuff. I think this might've meant to go somewhere else. And she was like, no, this for you. And I was like, but this looks like it's for like a flat lay, like for a photo shoot. Like, are you sure this is for me? And she was like, yep, that's for you. We are so sorry about what happened with the cologne. You're a longtime customer, Dallas resident. We want to make sure that, we let you know that we're so sorry for what happened. And I was like, child, y'all could have just gave me a little partial refund. I would have been fine. But yeah, I was so happy. And then as we were hanging up, and she goes, and any day now, you should be receiving a second box. They sent me a second box of goodies and a whole lot of goodies. And when I tell you, I was giving out real good gifts for the next like 4 years after that, because it was all coming out of that second box. People were like, girl, you sent me Giorgio Armani lip gloss? What? And I was like, just a little something for you. Anyway, yeah, that was a fun experience. I love Neiman Marcus, but Neiman Marcus exposed me to Bobbi Brown, and to this day, it is some of my favorite makeup. Also, Meghan was in New York for New York Fashion Week one year, and she did a segment with Bobbi Brown, who's a friend of hers. And I've shared that segment, but I thought it would be nice to take us out of this video with that segment, a positive memory with Bobbi Brown and a royal who actually knows how to be classy and tactful. No shade, but all shade. So that's all I have. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. And thanks to everybody who shared the channel. I really appreciate that. My numbers are finally getting back to like somewhat normal, because I guess y'all because everybody shared it, it boosted my channel finally, and it's came out of suppression. Thank y'all so much. And I haven't talked to any other creators, although I did notice a lot of them and us were stuck at a certain number or in the same number range for a very long time. I did not talk to them. They have not asked me to do or say anything, but I really appreciate y'all sharing my channel and helping me come out of the suppression. I'm assuming my channel was suppressed. I don't know, but thank y'all for that. And if you find it in your heart to do that for the other Sussex Squad channels, I would ask that you do that as well, because all of us have something to say and we're all doing something to help correct the narrative and create unbiased and even positive reporting for the Sussexes. And I think that's really important work. So if you don't mind, any other Sussex channel that you follow, when you finish the video, if you don't mind just sharing it on your socials or what have you, that would be so appreciated. I want all of us to continue to grow, and it seems like there's some kind of concerted effort to stall that. Thank y'all so much for helping to get us out of that. That's all I have. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.
You're doing great.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
You look beautiful.
Thank
you look beautiful. So where are you going?
I have a meeting today. We're on hiatus from Suits, so I am meeting with some producers about a film. Fingers crossed.
I'm feeling it.
Are you?
This is your time. I'm
feel
feeling
good
whatever
about
you do today is going to work.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel it. They're called retouching. I've got retouching pencils and retouching wands. Okay. The retouching wand is actually like a Cinderella wand for your skin. It looks like you've been retouched. It's very sheer, and it's literally the same color of your skin. It could go over your whole face.
And it blends so easily.
It blends easily. And you're going to love these. They come in all skin tone.
Okay, so this is going where?
If there's a spot, if you have like one spot that's driving you crazy that you don't want to see.
Okay. Oh,
good. Wait. Shine in it. Put it on the inner corner of your eye.
Okay.
That just opens up the eyes.
Yeah, completely.
Look at how pretty.
Oh, it's such a pretty glow.
That's honestly all you need, you know, for touching up.
Thank you for everything.
Oh, it's been great.
So good to see you.
Yep. Text me later.
I will. Bye.
Bye.